It's time for the Green Wave Coaches Show, broadcasting each week from Prince Street Pizza and Pub in Gallatin, Tennessee. The Green Wave Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Gallatin's local hometown hardware store, serving Gallatin and Sumner County for the past 50 years. Stop by and let Jimmy and his staff take care of all your hardware needs. Bank Tennessee, the bank for the Green Wave. Delta Dental of Tennessee. Visit deltadentaltn.com. Double Dogs, Sumner County's favorite sports bar, and the Ingram Law Firm, a local law firm that you can count on. Let our legal family help you and your family in your time of need. Now, let's get to the show and join our host, Blaine Kellar.
Back at Prince Street Pizza and Pub for the Green Wave Coaches Show. I'm Sumner County Sports Editor Blaine Kellar. He is Gallatin football coach Michael Stroup. Coach Stroup, welcome back, and congrats on a 23-20 win over Franklin, moving the Green Wave to 2-0 on the season. That's your school's best start since 2020.
Nice.
Well, talk a little bit about maybe just the guys coming back from a 3-7 season a year ago, picking up 2 wins to start the year, one in big fashion, one in come from behind fashion now, and now going into week 3 having a chance to match your win record from a year ago.
Yeah, I think it's just all in the preparation and the approach we took during spring practice and into the summer. We have a motto, don't matter, get better. And, we talked about being 1-0 every day, every rep, and, eventually every week. So, the kids, where their mindset is right now, it's really good. And, again, it started back in the spring when we started spring football practicing. And the physicality we took for that.
We're brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Double Dogs, Delta Dental, and the Ingram Law Firm. To get to 2-0, you needed a game-winning drive at Franklin. Went over 80 yards, I believe. 85 yards via my quarterback commitment and your son, Jackson Stroup. Getting the exclamation point on that, a 39-yard touchdown pass to J.C. Cagle. Can you take us through that series and getting the touchdown to go ahead?
Well, I never felt, and I told the coaching staff this and the team, I never felt there was any doubt from anybody on our sideline. Everybody remained calm and everybody just kind of stuck with it. And we had went for it on 4th down the drive previously and was denied on that run. And then the defense took over. And good teams, they're going to stick together and limit mistakes, and fortunately for us, I think Franklin got into a 3rd and 1 situation and they had some penalties and backed them up, and then we got a big sack out of the deal or an intentional grounding. I can't remember which one it was, but it made it 4th and long and they had to punt it back to us. And we got the ball back on the 15-yard line, and I remember Jack going out there and telling the guys, he said, "Hey, listen, we're finna score right here. One of y'all's finna get this thing, so let's get it down the field." And we were in a 2-minute situation, so first pass we go to KB. He gets out of bounds real quick. Second one, I think maybe went back to KB and he got a big pass interference call, and it moved the ball up 15 yards. Then we found Ani open in the middle, and he got it down past midfield, and then the very next play, we hit Cagle on the post route for the touchdown.
That play in particular seemed like a lot went right for you guys. The protection held up. Jackson had the great pass, and then Justin had that separation late to get the touchdown. Yep. Looking back at that play, how complimentary can you be of everything that just went right there?
Well, and they brought a lot of pressure all night, and we're going to get that from the type play we are. We throw the football. That's no secret, and a lot of people defend that by blitzing, and you just got to be able to execute when that happens. And I thought we did a pretty good job of it Friday night in the second half. The first half they kind of got after us a little bit, and I think we got sacked maybe twice, maybe 3 times. And we bounced back from that, and second half made some adjustments and was able to move the ball down the field and pretty good fashion.
A 23-20 again, the final in Franklin, allowing Gallatin and Coach Stroup to take down Josh Atkins and the Admirals. Jackson, 31-43 passing, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns. J.C. Cagle, 7 receptions, 87 yards, and the touchdown. He's our Gallatin News Player of the Week, but don't want to leave out Ontarius Scott, who had 110 yards himself and a score. These receivers, I know that I talked to you in the offseason about replacing a couple of guys in the receiving corps. You've had some names step up here in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've got guys like Barksdale who moved back in, and then you've got Ontarius Scott, and you got JC. You're going to hear those names a lot, but we also have Amari Holloman in there. And you've got guys that that have somewhat of experience out there playing. Ani played a good bit last year for us in the rifle package, and so it's not like they're new to it per se, but you got Harper back there who can be a threat out of the backfield catching the ball as well. But again, it's the time they've spent together this off season and being able to, like Ani and Jack can pretty much, they don't have to talk to each other. Like, the touchdown that Ani had, that wasn't even the route called, but they just kind of looked at each other and called a post route, and so. That comes from relationships and building trust in one another. So, it's just the growth those guys have had this offseason with each other.
Talking specifically about Kason Barksdale, you mentioned came in late, July 28th to be exact, and he showed out well in these first 2 games. Has it been impressive to see how quickly he's acclimated himself to a new team and technically a new position? He played quarterback at Davidson Academy a year ago.
Yeah, well, KB's got he's got a football mind, so he picks up on things really quick. He understands it from a quarterback situation or perspective, and him and Jack were able to get on the same page pretty quick, and then there's still some learning that has to take place with some concepts, but 95% of it he's executing at a high level.
Barksdale went 4 catches for 50 yards against Franklin, had a solid first showing. I think 2 touchdowns against Hendersonville in week 1. Talk a little bit about the offensive line, going back to what you said about teams frequently blitzing you, their ability to hold up pretty well through these first 2 games.
Yeah, I thought they did well at times. We've still got to get better in some areas, and we discussed those yesterday at practice, and we built on it today. It's just pounding the stone, man, and just continue to get better every day, and understand that what you did last week isn't going to work this week, and those kids understand that, and they know that. So just proud of those guys up front. Coach Pitt does a great job with those guys up there and getting those guys to execute.
Through 2 weeks, have those guys been meaner or nastier like you wanted to see through the offseason?
They're still nice guys. There was a couple instances in the game the other night where, I thought that, maybe Jack took some low shots to the knee in the pocket from defenders, and I just kind of emphasized to the offensive line, hey, that's your you got to protect that,
Yeah.
At some point in the game you got to keep receipts, and I'm not saying do anything dirty, but you got to protect your quarterback at all costs.
Again, 23-20, the final Gallatin over Franklin. You're watching the Green Wave Coaches Show here at Prince Street Pizza and Pub. I know you said it never felt like there was a doubt for week 2 for your guys, but to win in the fashion that you did on the road with a late start, coming from behind, does that do anything for you as a coach to see your guys win in a different fashion than in week 1?
Well, it shows signs of a veteran team. You go on the road. It's a hostile environment, man. The crowd there at Franklin was electric. You look across the field and their stadium's packed, and they've got students, and it looks like, It looked like there could have been 1,500 students in that student section over there, and they were just waving back and forth, and they did a really good job. My hat's off to that bunch and what they did. That was really fun to watch. But yeah, just go in there and handle that situation and be able to stay calm and just have the understanding that, hey, we're going to get our shot. Let's just stay calm. Everybody breathe real deep, and and hopefully it takes precedent, and it did.
Two more quick ones to touch with you on Franklin. First, want to talk about Austin Asherbrenner, the replacement to South Carolina signee Max Kelly, who actually saw some run over the weekend against Virginia Tech. I wanted to mention that. Asherbrenner, for the second straight week, made a field goal for you guys. Mm-hmm. You talked again in the offseason about just kind of how you felt confident in this guy who's stepping up to replace an SEC talent. How do you assess his play through the first 2 weeks?
I think Austin's done fine. I mean, he's still young as far as experience and playing time on the field, but Austin's a driven young man, and he wants to be really good, and I think he's got a shot of being really good. And he's been wonderful for us the past 2 games, and I continue to. I mean, I look for him to be that way going forward. You got to have a special language and to talk to kickers sometimes. They're a different breed. All of them are. I've never met one that you can just, you got to kind of get in their mind a little bit. Austin's no different. The other day I think one day last week we were at practice, and we just kind of went guards right and just put it to the wide side of the field, and he kind of had a freak out moment, and I'm like, hey, just kick the ball, we'll handle the rest. Don't worry about everything else, you just kick.
Yeah.
But he does a wonderful job for us, and puts them in the back of the end zone for us on kickoffs, and there's not a better defensive player than a kicker that can get us to start on the 20-yard line every time.
Yeah.
But when you're in a situation where you need a field goal, and being at 25, 30, it helps to in high school football to get those guys. And we kicked one yesterday in practice, and he made it from 51 and probably had 10 yards to spare on
wow.
it. So he's got a big leg on him.
Speaking of defense, briefly, good to see some third down defense from your guys at Franklin. I think they went 3 of 11, 4 of 11, somewhere in that range. The Admirals did. No, there was a big emphasis for new defensive coordinator Brent Russell, but you gave up some explosive plays, it seemed like. Where do you kind of see improvements and regressions from week 2 on your defense?
I think that I think that the guys will continue to grow, and on a side note, Brent tore his ACL last week.
Oh!
So, yeah, tore his ACL and MCL by drinking soda pops. But he had some pain in him on Friday night. Couldn't get up in the press box. Had to sit in the bleachers on the visitor side with our fans. So it was a little bit hectic for him, I'm sure. I think that we're on the same page, me and him, as far as getting off the field third down, not giving up big plays and whatnot. But but that still happened on Friday night. We just gotta, we've got to make those corrections and make sure kids understand. Hey, listen, if you can't get it done, we got to find somebody that can. And we just got to keep that pressure on.
Wishing a speedy recovery to Brent Russell, Gallatin's defensive coordinator. The Green Wave are out to a 2-0 start after a win against Franklin. When we come back on the Green Wave Coaches Show, we will preview homecoming match against Centennial, watching the Gallatin Green Wave Coaches Show on Main Street Media Television.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
Not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Score big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com, in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Back on the Green Wave Coaches Show, getting ready to preview Gallatin and Centennial. It's homecoming at Calvin Short Field. And Coach, typically when we're looking at other teams, I like to just take one player from that opposite side and have you kind of give us a preview of what to look at with that player. In particular this week, it's quarterback Mitch Grandjean, the transfer from Page, who came on to Centennial in the offseason. He had 5 touchdowns in the first week, led Centennial to, I believe, 48 points in week 2. What have you seen? How can you limit a player like that going into this third game?
I mean, he's a dynamic player for them. I mean, he can push the ball down the field, but also he can run around with it too. He scrambles a lot. He can get downfield. And he's got a lot of tools around him, man. He's got a lot of receivers at his disposal. And they're just a wide open offense, and he does a really good job of orchestrating all that.
Yeah, something Jackson mentioned on 104.5 The Zone earlier today was that Centennial has.
Listening.
I was. It's part of my job is to listen to some media appearances by Sumner County players. Jackson said they've got track guys just all across the field. Is that how you'd assess it? The speed that this team has?
Yeah, I mean, number 7 I think is a 400 relay guy and competed at the state championship level. Number 3 is absolutely got wheels. He can roll pretty good. You know, they're pretty athletic, and you know, we've got to do a really good job of staying with them and trying to disrupt the timing of their receivers.
Another note on Grandjean that I had was Centennial's had their own successes these last couple of years, but Grandjean coming from a program that has made it to the state championship in 4 consecutive years. In your experience, does a player with that kind of pedigree level up the players around him?
I think there's a certain type of leadership that comes with that and experience, and just, you know, getting the guys to play around you at a certain standard. You know, that is contagious. So yeah, I think there's some merit to that.
And going back to that thought that Jackson had, by the way, did you get to listen in on that?
I did, yeah.
Over the day. I know that got Jackson out of chemistry classes, is what he said. So big test coming up then for him at the end of the year. Anyways, that note, is speed the strength of this team, and if not, where do you kind of see Centennial's strength lying as you've done your scouting report?
Yeah, I think their strength is in their athletes and in their receivers and in the back end of their secondary. Linebackers are pretty good too. You know, and so they're gonna do a really good job of spreading the ball out and getting it to their guys and letting them make plays.
Does that style of offense, that, you know, spread out and, you know, get the ball to multiple guys, I mean, it's probably not an identical copy to what you guys run, but there's probably some similarities. Does that help in your preparation?
Yeah, I think there's a correlation to it, and you know, it may be a different style of play. They're RPO as well, but you know, I think that there's a little bit difference in they're more of a vertical passing team, and they want to push it down and use their speed to do that. Whereas we can do that, but we're also going to take things that, you know, they give us too, and then triculate it down the field as much as we can.
Green Wave Coaches Show is brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Delta Dental, Double Dogs, and the Ingram Law Firm. We are here all season long at Prince Street Pizza and Pub on the patio tonight because it is truly wonderful weather. Coach, much was said a week ago when I said that Williamson County had maybe a little bit of a talent advantage compared to.
I think a little bit. You said they did.
Takes an advantage was my words there. After playing a Williamson County team and winning against a Williamson County team a week ago, does that prep you for the Williamson County talent that Centennial would have?
I mean, I think they're two different teams. You know, I think that it doesn't hurt to play a team in Williamson County and kind of get that, you know, that feel for it. But still, you know, I think they're two different teams. I think, you know, I think they use two different sets of athletes, and I tip my hat to both of them. Both of them are really good programs.
New quarterback for Centennial, a new coach as well. First-year man, Jay Graham, who played at Tennessee and a couple of years in the NFL. You follow his career at all throughout your time? I mean, I know you're not going to purposefully look out for what Jay Graham was doing, you know, years ago, but was that something that you ever saw that kind of neat to look back on now?
You know, I not really. I just, you know, when I came up through Tennessee, I think he was probably done out of Tennessee. So I followed him around his coaching career. You know, I knew he had stops at this college and that college, but as far as following him at Tennessee, I was a Mississippi boy, so grew up that way.
I feel like it was a similar question I asked you a year ago.
I wonder if he followed me. Huh? You gonna ask him that?
I should ask Jay Graham if he followed Michael Straup's coaching career. I asked you a similar question a year ago when you scrimmaged Ensworth and going up against Matt and Tim Hasselback. I kind of figured I'd get a similar answer there. With a lot of newness, though, I guess you do have a couple of games on film to where this isn't going to be a completely, you know, unknown kind of style that they play.
Right.
Is there enough on film to have a good idea on what these guys do offensively and defensively?
I think you have enough to go by, but, you know, there's, you know, it's early, it's still non-region play, so they're not going to tip their hand all the way through. And a lot of teams are like that going in. So, you know, I think we probably got the blueprint, but I think they probably got some wrinkles up their sleeve that we probably won't even see, you know, Friday, because again, you know, a lot of coaches want to keep the cards close to their chest and going into region play and whatnot. But I'm gonna say we've probably seen most of it.
And how many cards, if you were to estimate, do you still have up your sleeve?
I got a few.
Not a whole sleeve, though.
No, not a whole sleeve. Not Oakland.
Green Wave Coaches Show brought to you by Tennessee Ace Hardware, Bank Tennessee, Double Dogs, Delta Dental, and the Ingram Law Firm. What can you tell us about Centennial defensively as we close out this preview on the Cougars?
Yeah, they're a 4-3. They play fast. They play a lot of man. They like to bring a lot of pressure, and we've got to be able to handle that pressure and execute. And the weather may play a factor. I think rain's probably supposed to move into the area on Friday, so we'll have to prepare for that as well.
Gallatin trying to go to 3-0 against the 1-1 Centennial Cougars. One more segment when we come back on the Green Wave Coaches Show. It's time for one fun question. Coach Michael Stroup. Stay tuned.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
When you're looking for the right attorney, it's important to ask questions that address your needs and concerns. Is your attorney local? A local attorney is often more attuned to the specific issues and challenges you may face. Jay Ingram understands the Gallatin, Sumner County, and Middle Tennessee communities well. He's been practicing law here for 25 years. What are their primary areas of practice? The Ingram Law Firm focuses their practice primarily on the areas of criminal defense, domestic relations, civil litigation, juvenile law, and probate. Do they genuinely care about the community? Jay Ingram, his associate attorneys, and legal staff are not only skilled, but they're also deeply invested in their community. Managing partner Jay Ingram is a graduate of Leadership Sumner and has held leadership roles with the Sumner County Bar Association, Gallatin Green Wave Quarterback Club, the Gallatin Lions Club, and he's a graduate of both Leadership Middle Tennessee and the Tennessee Bar Association's Leadership Law statewide program. Why does all of this matter? Finding an attorney who understands, cares about, and is connected to the local community can make a significant difference in your experience and your outcome. Jay Ingram, Haley Medley, and Austin Knapp are dedicated local citizens and attorneys who are here to help you navigate your legal challenges with compassion. Reach out to the Ingram Law Firm PLLC today at 615-452-6613 or visit ingramlawyers.com.
You're not going fishing till that grass is cut.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit DixieChopper.com.
Score big with your hometown team. Bank Tennessee is proud to be the bank of the Green Wave. We believe in supporting our community and we're dedicated to helping our neighbors succeed. When you bank with us, your deposits help fund local businesses, homeowners, and community projects. Go Green Wave! Bank Tennessee, www.banktennessee.com, in Gallatin at 544 Hartsville Pike, 615-442-7914, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Closing out with one fun question here on the Green Wave Coaches Show at Prince Street Pizza and Pub. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of the Green Wave Coaches Show. Homecoming theme for Gallatin: out of the shadows, the Green Wave rises. Sounds like a horror film more than a homecoming theme, but always a big time in Gallatin. Lots happening. I think Gallatin's got a parade before the game. Is that right? Yeah. You a fan of the fanfare that kind of comes throughout the week and then leading up to the game and the crowd that comes along with it?
I mean, I think it's fun for the people and the fans and the people that are involved in homecoming and the court and and all that other stuff. But I tell our guys it's rat poison, and it's just it's a distraction. And I'm not homecoming's my enemy. And those Dr. Becker and Mr. Fresh, they all get into the homecoming stuff and the dress up days and whatever those may be, and I couldn't tell you what they are. And they're going to be mad at me because I said that, but it's just a distraction. We've got to play a football game on Friday, and everybody else is worried about crowning a queen and what dress and what games you're going to play on Friday and all that other stuff at homecoming festivities, and I could care less. I just want our guys to play well.
Has it changed a lot over the years from when you first started and had to deal with your first homecoming festivities to this year? Has it changed a whole lot?
I don't know. I've always thought that it was never, it's not about football. It's about, a homecoming court and, and all the stuff that comes with it. And, it's just a distraction. I don't, man, when I was at Scotts Hill and they had homecoming there, it was, man, they used to have donkey basketball games.
Oh!
When we were playing on the road in Scotts Hill, so I had to fight that too. But I think it's great for the kids outside of the football team. I think it's fun for those guys, and they do all that stuff, paint their faces,
yep.
and, go out there and play kickball during the day and have homecoming games and tater sack races, whatever they do. I don't know what they do, but again, I tell my guys to stay away from it. Don't get involved in it. I had a kid one time at USJ get a concussion because they were playing tug of war, and
wow.
They won, and somebody let go of the rope, and he's a football player.
And he couldn't play that week.
He couldn't play that day.
Wow.
And so that from there on, I was like, no football players involved in any activities. And some teachers were like, well, you're a fun sucker. Well, that's fine. I can just suck the fun out of life, I guess.
The donkeys and the basketball.
Yeah.
Can I get a sentence to close us out on what that is?
Well, it's a person on the back of a donkey, and there's 10 of them on the court, and they have a helmet on, and they're carrying a basketball, and they've got to ride the donkey down the court, which I'm sure Bobby Luna would be a fan of in his basketball court. And he probably ran through this at Warren County. I'm going to say he probably did.
Yeah.
And then they got to make a basket. Yeah, you will get bucked. You will get bucked off a donkey. You will fall off that thing.
That's why, hence the helmet, right?
And then they have to use the bathroom during the game, and they don't go to the bathroom.
They use the court.
They use the court. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am
You've never seen a donkey basketball game?
I've heard of donkey basketball, but I think we need to bring it to Gallatin.
I want to see micro wrestling.
Micro, appropriate term. I'm glad that we used micro wrestling there. We're gonna cut it off there now. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of the Green Wave Coaches Show. Be sure to catch our coverage of Gallatin and Centennial on Friday. We'll see you back here next week for week 3.